Hello, social workers, mental health professionals, and change agents. Welcome to another episode of the Social Work Ranch podcast. I'm your host, Bash Moreno. Saludos a todos. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in wherever you are watching or listening to this podcast. I appreciate all the love and support. Gracias a todos por su apoyo. Continue to follow the podcast on all social media outlets. On Instagram at the Social Work Rants Podcast. That is all one word. On Twitter, X at Social Work Rants, and hit that like button on Facebook, aka Meta. Type in the Social Work Rants Podcast. Hit that like button, and of course YouTube. Hit that red subscribe button. And again, thanks for everybody tuning in, tapping in, listening, sharing podcast episodes. I'm still looking for a podcast guests. If you want to get on the podcast, please email me Bass City Entertainment LLC. That is all one word at gmail.com. Again, Bass City Entertainment LLC at gmail.com. I'll put it in the show notes. Speaking of Bass City Entertainment, this episode is brought to you by Bass City Entertainment LLC, doing business as Bass Moreno Consulting, providing financial education for the sandwich generation, people for people of color in the sandwich generation, to provide financial stability. For more information, please go to Bass Moreno. That's a B as in boy, ASMORENO.com for more information. Sign up, join the email list. There's a freebie once you sign up. And again, yeah, that's what I've been focusing on regarding on the business aspect with my small business. So yeah, if you I'm doing consultations, so definitely tap in for those who identify in the sandwich generation, meaning you are caring for yourself and you have kids and you're trying to take care of your kids financially somehow, some way, while also caring for an an elder, will be elder parent, aunt, you're caring for somebody, an older adult you're caring for. So this week's episode, I wanted to, well, before we get started on this week's episode, I got some breaking news that happened this week. Uh, the Social Work Pat Rants podcast name is officially trademarked with the U.S. Department of Trademarks. It is official. It's been almost a 2 year process. Excited. First thing Wednesday morning, got the email as official from the government. So I got a lot of love on IG and on X with the congratulations. Thank you, everybody. Long time coming. I got one more pending trademark to go. It has been taking forever. So hopefully that goes through. Relates to the business, the parent name of my business, and so I'm hoping that that goes go through. So it's still um, National Poetry Month. My book, Trying Through Pain: How to Maximize Your Full Potential in Hard Times. It is available on my website at bashmoreno.com and is also available on Amazon on paperback. So, before I get started this week's episode, this uh, episode, uh, I do the disclaimer. So, this podcast is not to be used for as a substitute for therapy, individual counseling. If you need help, please contact your therapist, contact your psychiatrist, call 988, call 911 if you in need of assistance. Um, it's okay not to be okay, but get the help that you need. So I want to give an update on this week's episode on the student loans situation. Um, so if you have Mohela, whatever the heck that dumb company name is, that's been horrible and should have never gotten um, a contract from the Department of Education, and you have um, the PSLF, they are no longer going to be processing your application. So the U.S. Department of Education will be taking over the your account really as of May 1st, which is already coming up. And also, they will put a pause on any processing until July. So if you got, Mohelia has been doing such a terrible job. They're taking forever with the processing. So if you're missing, like me, I'm missing. Thought I missed like a whole like year and a half that hasn't been updated yet. I gotta wait till July to have that process, and that's on top of the up to 3 years of COVID payments they supposed to put in. So that is supposedly those 3 years is supposed to be happening at any time, but really people should be, be seeing some relief in July. So I want to pull up this email. Some of you, um, if you have PSLF or did the application, should have gotten an email from the Department of Education. It looks something like this. For my audio listeners, no, bear with me. You should have gotten an email from the U.S. Department of Education with the headline processing of PSLF forms to pause this summer. So the U.S. Department of Education, going to be word for word, is updating the system to basically manage, supposedly better manage the public student service loan forgiveness process. And basically, uh, they're transitioning from Mohelia to the U.S. Department of Education. So they will not do, while this changeover happens, so May and June, the pause of processing applications will, like I said, will be on pause and until July. So the key here is your payment counts will not be updated during the processing pause, but all payments will be reflected on your studentaid.gov account when the pause ends. So everybody should be going on studentaid.gov and make sure your info is correct. If you have Mohelia as your service lender, go on Mohelia. And if your account is updated, make sure you screenshot through your laptop, take pictures on your phone, and make sure the info is correct. So when July comes, if there's any, things are not right, how you think they should be, because everybody's situation is different, then you got the screenshots and you could fight and plead your case and make sure that the U.S. Department of Education does what they need to do with this processing. So, um, the president's been supposedly canceling student loans here and there, uh, but many more people will need the relief. I've said this from the very beginning. Social workers, you already have our we file taxes. You already have our tax information. You already can see that we are working as a nonprofit or we have our own businesses providing mental health therapy. So if you pay taxes, you already have our info in the system. That's enough proof. And if we work long enough, we should have our loans forgiven. So um, the government want to play some games with that. So um, that's another story for another day. So so I wanted to give you that quick update. I don't want to take up much time. Um, So I just want everybody to know what is happening with the student loans. People are really not seeing a lot of talk about this. I know there's obviously so many things are happening currently in the world, and part of our code of ethics is to social work is political, and we need to make sure people who are underserved and our most vulnerable populations, we are advocating for them. So I see that constantly all day, every day. But something related to the student loans and these are so basically we still have to make payment. Most people still got to make payments towards their loans, but their forgiveness is being paused for most of the summer. So that don't make a lot of sense. But as long as Mohelia is known or whatever the hell they called is not doing the actual paperwork, then hopefully things this move is actually for the better. And I see this as a way for the president to get some of those votes that he's constantly losing by the day. And like, hey, I did student loans, and he think hopefully he thinks that might be enough for him to get reelected. So, and again, that's another story for another day. Um, so um, that's it from my end. Again, I'm always looking for guests on the podcast. Come through. It's a challenging time doing a lot of stuff. I try to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes and try to practice some self care and been intentional on doing that. So if I feel like the podcast been put to the back burner a little bit, and I know a lot of you have put a lot of energy into watching or listening to these podcast episodes. And again, um, and is not intentional. On again, I appreciate the love and support that you guys have been giving and listening, and meeting you guys like, hey, I would listen to your podcast, or thank you for all the stuff that you talk about. And again, I appreciate all that. And you know, my seasonal depressive season is upon me. So if you follow the podcast pages, you will understand um, why why that is within the next couple weeks. So um, May is not the greatest month in the world. So um, one day at a time. So until then, we talk soon. Peace.